Okay, go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hargett,
Here.
trustee Levin,
Here.
trustee Marabella,
Here.
trustee McCarthy,
Here.
trustee Weiss,
Here.
trustee Whitmore.
Here.
Mayor, excuse me, Mayor Bruno.
Here. Thank you. Invocation, I will provide the invocation. Lord God, we give you thanks and praise for bringing us together to serve you and your people. We ask you to shine forth your light upon us so that we make the right decisions for the people of Winthrop Harbor. As our nation celebrates St. Patrick's Day, we ask you to strengthen our gratitude for the faith you have given us. May we respond to the signs of your presence in our lives for celebrating safely and recognizing that we are all one united human family. As we draw closer to the new life of spring and this holy time of year, we ask you to renew our lives with your help from on high. May we reach out to all our brothers and sisters who are in need of food, shelter, clothing, and love. May we protect the right to life and nurture life in others, especially those most vulnerable. Pour forth your wisdom upon us so that we may enact laws and policies which create jobs for the unemployed and which encourage a just and living wage for all. In a special way, we also remember all those who have sacrificed so much in serving and protecting us, especially our police and fire departments and our community. We ask you to reward and watch over them and their families. Finally, Almighty God, we humbly ask you to bless America. In Jesus' name, amen. Move on to approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve the March 2nd, 2021 virtual regular board meeting minutes.
Trustee Marabella, so moved.
Second, trustee Weiss.
Thank you. Any discussion on that, on those minutes? Very well. Roll call, please.
Hargett,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. We move on to mayor's report. First item, I need a motion to approve the VFW's request for a raffle license from April through December of 2021.
Trustee
Trustee
Marabella,
Weiss
so moved.
moves.
Marabella, second.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Very well. Roll call.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
a point of information, the dates on that request or that raffle license are April through December. The reason we did that, just so the board members know, rather than it being a full year, was because of COVID and the fact that the VFW could not open up the capacity that was necessary to make the raffle beneficial to them. We thought it was prudent to, in the interest of that business, to put the raffle license effective the date that they were able to have enough people to participate in the raffle.
So the fee was prorated?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Any other comments on that? Very well. Roll call, please.
Hargett,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. We move on to the second item. I need a motion to adopt an appointment resolution appointing John T. Bosch, part-time police officer.
Trustee Weiss moves.
Second,
Second.
McCarthy.
Thank you. Any discussion on that item?
Mr. Mayor, point of information again, I apologize. I just want to point out that the police department's done an exceptional job of identifying qualified candidates in the part-time ranks in order that we may be able to reduce and more effectively manage the budget, but reduce our some of our expenses associated with academy costs and full-time police officers. You will see not only this officer on here, but we anticipate there'll be additional part-time officers coming before the board.
Very good. And actually, I was over at the police department, I believe it was last Tuesday, and I got to meet Officer Bosch, a very nice guy. He's going to make a good officer. So, all right. Any other comments on that? Discussion? All right. Roll call, please.
Arget,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
aye,
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. A couple other things I wanted to bring up. We've closed the application process for the fire chief. The committee will be meeting this Thursday to review the applications. So we'll keep you posted on that. And the police chief search is open, and we are accepting applications for that. So we'll also keep you in the loop on that. So that's all I need to bring up. That's all. Okay, so I'll move on to Village Administrator's Report. Greg Jackson.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, you will be receiving a copy of a memorandum that I had completed yesterday. You should be receiving it either later this evening or tomorrow, about a vision and strategy session that senior staff is requesting with the Board of Trustees and the mayor to talk about fiscal sustainability as well as our efforts towards community and economic development, as well as several other issues. We're looking at sometime in mid-May, when the new board sits, so that we can, on a Saturday, so that we can discuss these issues and have a strategic plan for moving forward with a number of issues coming out of on the post-pandemic recovery. Also, the budgets documents are being completed by staff as we speak. They will be turned in to me by Friday. We will begin to do our reviews by department. I can tell you that each department head's been in contact with me and working diligently. We're doing a zero-based budgeting program or a zero-based budgeting approach based on a baseline number of last year's budget. So that's the baseline number by department. And it's up to that department to come within the budget or justify what they need outside that budgeted number to the board when it's presented to the board. The only other issue I have, the only other issue I have, Mr. Mayor, is as I've communicated to the board members, as I've been asked from time to time, I'm not a person who spends a lot of time on social media, but in fact, I don't have a Facebook account, and it tends to be consuming, and that's not where my attention should be. However, with that being said, when things come out on social media, they do get brought to our attention when members of the public call or members of the board get wind of something on social media that perhaps needs to be addressed within the community. They communicate that back to me, so I'm aware of it. Some recent information came out on social media. And I want to make sure that it's addressed because I think the public has a right to understand some of the issues, and mainly because people have contacted me about it. It had to do with social media had presented something that trustees had voted on some taxes, were inclined to vote on some taxes. And I'd like to discuss those for the benefit of the public and just to make sure there's no miscommunication coming out of the administrative offices. First of all, one would be a gas tax, and it was said that a trustee would be voting in favor of a Winthrop Harbor gas tax. That is just totally blatant misinformation or falsehood. Based on our status as a non-home rule community, any vote on a tax that would affect anything outside of the property tax or the 5% of the property tax or a gas tax or anything else, including a non-home rule sales tax, has to go to referenda. So a trustee would not have the authority to approve a tax, nor would the body have an authority to approve a tax that would go into effect. That has to come out of a referenda. Again, we're a non-home rule community. That puts some constraints on us. The board would decide if they wanted such a tax and then would offer a resolution to go to the county clerk and it would be filed appropriately. Bob can jump in anytime there if I'm speaking out of turn. But the bottom line is that is totally incorrect. The next thing was a question about the question that was posed to me is, are we raising water rates? And we had talked about looking at the water rates, and that was brought to me by Tim Neergarter, who had said that our water rates are not sufficient to cover what's necessary to run the business. The water and sewer funds are enterprise funds, and quite simply put, an enterprise fund is a business fund. It is to be self-sustainable. The money that comes in supports the money that goes out. I'm sorry, the services and goods that go out. Any business person who owns a business or familiar with a business knows that when your cost of doing business come in, you have two choices. You either increase the price back to the consumer or you stop the service. And if you're increasing the price, you're either doing it for profit, which government is not in the business of doing. So what the purpose of an increase in the water funds are, the water rates are to offset the increased expense for water and water delivery service to the village of Winthrop Harbor, as well as the equipment necessary to make sure that water delivery is properly taken care of for our community. We are not in the business, and I can tell you by looking at that fund that we are certainly not making a profit on expenses with water. Nothing has gone before the board yet. There has not been a decision as to raising those rates. It may happen, it may not happen. I will tell you without hesitation that there is reluctance or at least concern on our necessity to do it, especially as it relates to senior citizens. One of our trustees, Trustee Mirabella, and I bring it up because he's the liaison for Public Works, which covers water and sewer, had talked to me as recently as last week about his concern on what the impact of water rates would be and adjusting those rates on our senior citizen community when they are living off fixed incomes. So how these things get started, whether it's, I regret to say, perhaps political or whether it's just misinformation, I can't say. But the information is, when we talk about going back to the gas tax, that was brought up when we talked about ways to fund public safety along the lines of police and the fire service, because the fire service is asking for $76,000 more a year to make sure we have paramedic coverage on, which is warranted. That's exactly what they should be doing. That's exactly what they should be asking. But the question is, how do we fund it? We can't put our heads in the sand and not look at opportunities to either fund or the opposite end of it, reduce services. And when we talk about that, this communication talked about, because it was brought to my attention, have we done everything we can to look at reducing services? Well, we've consolidated contracts. We've looked and exercised group consortium purchasing. We've done staff realignment. We've looked at shared services, third-party services, as well as a centralized IT, information technology, just to name a few. And I am having an analysis conducted, benefit of being faculty at a university, analysis, which I am confident will show that we have reduced our operating expenses to such an extent that when we compare ourselves to other communities and what's been done in the past in this community, that our numbers will show we've done an exceptional job of addressing that. On top of that, we've brought in over 7 figures of new funding into this village, which wouldn't have been brought in before. And we're also looking at a potential, an increase in 2 potential payments out of the American Recovery Act, just waiting to see what those numbers firm up to be and how much that can be used for offsetting revenue losses, as well as offsetting or picking up expenses attributed to our fight against COVID. So I don't mind facing the challenges and the calls from the public on issues that are based on legitimate information, Mr. Mayor and members of the board. We've done that. We've done that with the tree ordinance. We've done that with a number of other issues. But I got to tell you that these times, they take away a time from me. They take away time from staff to turn around and field those calls. And I will tell you, we will not stop fielding those calls because the public, when they ask a question, are absolutely entitled to an answer. And we will continue to give those answers based on the information we have, the data that we have. But I want to make sure that the mayor and the board knows that we responded to this misinformation or misunderstood information that was communicated. Mr. Mayor, members of the board, that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
I wanted-
Any more questions for Greg?
Well, I was going to just jump in on that and say thanks to Greg. I know some of these issues can be confusing about where is the authority, what decisions can be made. I think the fact that we have been very intentional about saying we want to overturn every rock possible to understand every option to achieve the goals that we have means that you talk about a lot of things in our meetings. Whether those are pursued or not, right? That's another question. And so I think it's a good sign that the public, when they see things like that, are reaching out to Village Hall to say, what's this about? I think that speaks to the trust that we've been able to establish with the community. So unfortunately, I appreciate that they're doing that. I appreciate that you're fielding those calls, but hopefully, we've been able to clear some of that up and won't have too much of that going forward.
No, I received a phone call by a friend, but a resident asked him about the gas tax, and he said, well, I know a gas tax has gone up. And I said, well, it wasn't us. County board approved to 4 cents a gallon. It wasn't the village. It was the county board. So he thought it was us, but it wasn't. So any other questions for Greg? All right. Thank you, Greg. We move on to clerk's correspondence.
I have nothing.
Have nothing, Julie. All right. Move on to no old business. So we move on to new business, committee reports, finance, trustee Weiss.
Thank you. I move that we approve accounts payable warrant 2020-17 in the amount of $163,556.40.
So move.
Any
Or
questions?
second, sorry.
Okay, no, okay. Any questions on the warrant? Very well. Roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella.
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, trustee Weiss. Move on to public works, trustee Marabella.
I move to approve the request to ratify the approval for the fee agreement with Partners in Design Architects.
Trustee Weiss seconds.
All right. Any comments? This is for the bid for the building, correct? Trustee
Yes.
Marabella? Go
Yes.
out for bid?
Yep.
All right. $11,000, correct?
No, this is not for the bid, Mr. Mayor.
It's,
Oh, not. Okay, thank you, Tim.
It is associate, Mr. Mayor, it is associated. I'm sorry. Tim, this is,
Okay. It's a company that's going to go out and search for a bid, right?
the company that's putting together the accurate numbers because it's been so many years since this came before the board and so many years since we finally got the legislature to approve the grant. We just need to make sure that we tighten every area we can so we come within the numbers.
it's,
Tim and trustee Mirabella are very comfortable that this company is the company that can provide that service. That's why it's being presented to the board.
it's the numbers that were there before were different numbers with building materials going up and everything else.
Exactly.
Assistance. Tim could fill in you more if he wants.
Okay, thank you, trustee Marabella. Any other comments, questions? Very well. Roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin.
Aye.
Marabella.
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, trustee Marabella. We move on to public comment. Do we have anyone that submitted any questions?
No,
Nope. Thank you, Julie.
nope.
Very well. We'll move on to unfinished business. We will start with trustee Weiss.
Yes, I just want to thank Greg for the work that he's been doing, and especially with the budget process. And I'll be meeting with Greg on Thursday to review the budget process. It'll be, as Dana would say, I'm very excited about doing this. Really? No, I'm looking forward to this because it's a process that is going to be a little bit different, and it'll be unique. And with this COVID and the pandemic, and the way it's really impacted our community, it'll be interesting to see the numbers.
Do we have a basic timeline in mind for budget meetings?
Well, it's our intent, Trustee Hargit, to have everything wrapped up by month's end, present the first budget at a cow, but prior to April 6th. Hopefully, I'd like last year we didn't adopt until May, well into May. In fact, it may have been June because of the fact of COVID. I'm hoping that we're able to do it before the beginning of the next fiscal year.
Very good.
Wow.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Weiss. Move on to Trustee Mirabella.
All right, so I know a lot of people have questions on the road patching and stuff. We're doing road patching coming out after you plow for a season. There's always going to be potholes, areas that we've hit, different parts of the streets and stuff we have plowed up, or different parts of asphalt. I've been all over town looking at such things, so we know we have a lot of it. We're starting to patch. Tim's fielding calls. So we're getting on the patching. We're starting to do April 5th, the bridge work at Holdridge begins. So Tim will be fielding any, and we'll have communications out to residents that it's going to affect everything with that. And we are starting a hydrant and valve like we've done in the past. We've replaced hydrants, and we've done different upgrades to our hydrants, or reworked them, and we're continuing with that. So that's all I got. And well, as it's warming up, I seen our new our new boys Eagle Scout project went up, the batting cage, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Seeing that go up, it looks cool. I'm glad it's there. It's a lot of people were calling asking what was going on with that as it was going up, but people had different ideas. But yeah, it's a batting cage. Real excited about that. I'm hoping everything is good with COVID. We can get our sports back. I've seen the signs up, not to rain on anybody's parade, but I've seen the signs up for baseball and softball stuff. So it's exciting. So like I always say, I've asked for people to watch their speed as we warm up, because all the kids are anxious. They've been cooped up in their homes. They're going to be out on the streets, and, you know, kids don't tend to pay attention, but so we have to pay attention for them in our community. That's all I got.
Thank you, Trustee Mirabella. Trustee McCarthy.
Yeah, just a short one as we come on the kind of year anniversary of being in quarantine when it comes to our meetings. Just want to thank all the village staff, you know, who have adapted and worked through all this, and done, you know, really good things with the limitations we've had. And one thing I thought about today, Mayor, is just I appreciate the fact that without having in-person meetings and having a pastor on rotation who comes through, like you, having a prayer for us at each meeting that is unique and unique to the times and the date and significant. And I know you get some help with that. I know you've said that, you know, but I appreciate the effort even still to make sure that you're getting something to open us up. That's been important for me and impactful. So thank you for doing that. I just wanted to mention. So.
Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. I'll never start a village board meeting without a prayer, for sure. Thank you. Trustee Whitmore.
Yeah, so as Trustee Mirabella said, we do have baseball, t-ball, softball opening up. So please feel free to sign up online. And then Parks and Rec will be hosting our annual Easter egg hunt with a few different bonuses this year. April 1st, we are looking at having our first ever glow in the dark Easter egg hunt for anyone ages 9 and up. And then on April 3rd, starting at 9 o'clock, we are going to have our regular Easter egg hunt from ages, infant to 9 years old, for a spread out social distanced Easter egg hunt, followed by a bunny walk with groups kind of spreading out and going around 38 acres to be able to walk with the Easter Bunny.
Could you, you probably said the dates on those. Could you tell me the dates of those?
Yeah.
Egg hunt?
Yeah, so April 1st at
April 1st.
6:45 will be the glow in the dark Easter egg hunt. And then April 3rd, that Saturday at 9 o'clock will be our other younger kids Easter egg hunt. And then all of this is going to be up on our Facebook page this week.
Awesome. Thank you.
You do have to sign up online, so make sure you register.
Thank you, Trustee Whitmore. Trustee Levin.
At this time, I have nothing.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Levin. Trustee Hargit.
Have nothing.
Very good. All right. We do need to go into closed session regarding collective bargaining. So I would ask all trustees to stay on. Julie needs to stay on, and Attorney Robert Long and Village Administrator Greg Jackson. But everybody else can sign off.
We need a motion to go into closed session.
Need a motion to go into closed session. Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All right, roll call, please.
Hargit,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy, Weiss,
Aye.
and Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried.